Welcome to a journey through the philosophy of astrology, as explored by Manly Palmer Hall. In this video, we'll uncover how astrology has shaped intellectual and moral relationships throughout history. From ancient civilizations to modern interpretations, astrology has been more than just a tool for prediction. It's a profound system for understanding the universe and our place within it. We'll explore its esoteric roots, its connection to other sciences like mathematics and music, and its enduring influence on culture and spirituality. Let's begin by setting the stage for this fascinating exploration. Astrology, along with medicine, mathematics, music, and architecture, was one of the five great sciences of the ancient world. Its origins are shrouded in mystery, with no single race or nation able to claim its invention. From the Chaldeans of the Euphrates Valley to the Egyptians, Hindus, Chinese, Persians, and even the ancient Americas, astrology was a universal cultural force. The study of stars and their influence on earthly life predates written history, suggesting that astrology's roots are as old as civilization itself. Let's delve into how these early societies viewed the cosmos. No civilization reached its cultural peak without the influence of astrology. The ancient world saw the stars as part of a universal order, connecting the observer to the cosmos in a grand pattern. The priesthoods of old were not just religious leaders, they were mathematicians, doctors, architects, musicians, and astrologers. Knowledge was considered sacred, reserved for those who proved themselves worthy. This exclusivity preserved the depth and integrity of esoteric traditions, including astrology, until the fall of the great pagan institutions made knowledge more widely accessible. Astrology is divided into two branches, esoteric and exoteric. Esoteric astrology deals with the mysteries of the universe, spiritual, intellectual, moral, and physical chemistry. It's the key to understanding the macrocosm and microcosm, the great man, the world, and the little man, the individual. Exoteric astrology, on the other hand, is the predictive art, focusing on horoscopes and forecasting. While most modern practitioners focus on predictions, the true depth of astrology lies in its philosophical foundation, revealing universal truths and the interconnectedness of all things. The study of esoteric astrology begins with the mysteries of the macrocosm, the universe as a whole. Ancient thinkers didn't see the universe as just a physical system, but as a complete world encompassing both visible and invisible, physical and spiritual realms. This holistic view placed humanity within a cosmic order, where every part of the universe corresponded to a part of the human being. The macrocosm-microcosm analogy became a central theme, suggesting that by understanding the cosmos, we understand ourselves. While modern science favors the heliocentric model, placing the sun at the center of the solar system, ancient astrologers often used the geocentric model, with Earth at the center. However, evidence suggests that some ancient schools like those of Pythagoras were aware of the heliocentric theory. The geocentric model was more than a physical description, it was a symbolic representation of the world, with Earth as the element of matter and the planetary orbits as zones of magnetic energy. This symbolic system reflected the spiritual, intellectual, and material divisions of existence. Ancient cosmology divided existence into three parts: spirit, soul, and body. The stars represented the spirit, the planets the soul, and the elements the body. This trinity was mirrored in many religious and philosophical systems, from the Christian Trinity to the Hindu Trimurti. The geocentric diagram symbolized these relationships, with the world as a complete entity composed of consciousness, intelligence, and force. Understanding this division helps us grasp the deeper meanings behind astrological symbolism. The universe is filled with stars, each a sun radiating spiritual energy. Planets act as reflectors and distributors of this energy, specializing it as it passes through their orbits. Earth receives three types of energy: spiritual from the stars, physical from the planets, and elemental from the Earth itself. This flow of energy forms the basis for the interconnectedness of all life, with each being receiving and transmitting cosmic influences in a continuous cycle. The Orphic tradition divided the world into three realms: the supreme, the higher, and the lower. The supreme world was the abode of the first gods, the higher world housed the secondary gods or planetary spirits, and the lower world was the realm of mortals. This tripartite structure reflected the flow of life from the stars through the planets to the material world. Each realm played a role in the cosmic hierarchy, distributing and receiving energies in a grand cycle. In ancient thought, planets were not named after gods, rather gods were named after the planets. Civilizations studied the qualities of planetary energies and assigned divine archetypes to them. These archetypes embodied the moral and intellectual forces associated with each planet. The process of mapping these energies took thousands of years, forming the foundation of esoteric knowledge that was lost with the destruction of ancient civilizations like Atlantis. The zodiac was seen as a mystical structure, with three concentric rings representing different levels of reality: the spiritual, the intellectual, and the material. The outermost ring, prima mobile, was the source of all creative energy. The middle ring corresponded to the intellectual sphere, and the innermost to the material world. These rings radiated forces that sustained the threefold nature of existence, connecting the stars, planets, and elements in a unified system. The structure of the cosmos in astrology parallels the teachings of the Kabbalah. The highest being Ein emanates Ein Sof, boundless life, which in turn emanates Or, boundless light. These three aspects form the basis of the Christian Trinity and other triadic systems. The zodiac's three rings correspond to these emanations, symbolizing the unity of spiritual, intellectual, and material existence. Within the cosmic diagram, 7 planetary orbits represent the 7 heavens, each associated with a planetary spirit or deity. These orbits are linked to the 7 Elohim of the Jews, the 7 Kabiri of Samothrace, and other mythological figures. The planets govern different aspects of the soul and are central to the esoteric understanding of human nature and destiny. Beneath the planetary orbits lie the spheres of the elements: fire, air, earth, and water. The innermost part was called the Garden of Eden, the abode of the first man. This symbolic geography explained ancient beliefs about the center of the world and the origins of life. The elements formed the foundation for all physical existence, each with its own spiritual and material significance. Numbers held deep symbolic meaning in ancient astrology. The 10 orbits, 7 planetary and 3 celestial, formed the Pythagorean tetractys, a mystical symbol of cosmic order. The numbers 4, 7, and 12 were especially significant, corresponding to the Sun, Saturn, and the zodiacal signs. These numbers encoded the laws of the cosmos and the structure of spiritual hierarchies. Constellations were seen as sources of cosmic energy, each with its own unique influence. Ancient astrologers believed that the patterns of stars shaped the destinies of nations and individuals alike. The zodiac was divided into 12 signs, each representing an active force acting upon the passive sphere of matter. The interplay of these forces created the dynamic environment in which all life evolved. There are several theories about the origins of zodiac signs. Some suggest that ancient shepherds created star patterns based on their observations, while others believe the signs were inspired by seasonal changes in agricultural cycles. Another theory posits that constellations are celestial maps of the earth, reflecting the distribution of land and water. Greek mythology added yet another layer, associating constellations with legendary heroes and events. Each theory highlights the deep connection between the heavens and human culture. Ancient astrologers viewed constellations as complex fields of energy, each emitting a unique vibrational signature. These fields influenced the planets as they moved through different regions of the sky, altering their effects on earthly life. The careful observation and recording of these influences formed the basis of astrological knowledge, with some traditions claiming records spanning thousands of years. Each person is a center of consciousness, receiving and responding to the energies of the universe. The act of seeing, for example, involves the convergence of countless rays of starlight, making the observer the center of their own universe. This perspective reinforces the idea that the macrocosm and microcosm are intimately connected, with each individual reflecting the whole. The zodiac was divided into 12 signs along the ecliptic, forming a magical belt adorned with jewels. In addition to the 12 zodiacal constellations, there were 12 northern and 12 southern constellations, each with its own spiritual significance. The northern stars were considered spiritual, the southern material, and the equatorial formal. This division reflected the moral and energetic qualities attributed to different regions of the sky. The planet Earth was seen as a living being, composed of physical, magnetic, and electric fields. Its structure mirrored the orbits of the planets, with 7 concentric zones both within and surrounding the planet. These zones corresponded to the planetary spheres and played a role in the distribution of life and energy across the continents and species. The doctrine of macrocosm and microcosm teaches that every part of the universe influences its corresponding part in the human being. Planets, stars, and elements have their counterparts within us, shaping our physical, emotional, and spiritual lives. This unity of worlds is the key to understanding astrological theology and the interconnectedness of all existence. Modern scientists often struggle to understand astrology because they lack a metaphysical perspective. While science focuses on material phenomena, astrology encompasses both the physical and the spiritual. Only by expanding our perspective to include the non-physical realms can we begin to appreciate the full depth of astrological knowledge. Constellations were seen as races of gods, each exerting a collective influence on the world. Just as nations and cultures shape human history, these celestial beings shape the destiny of the Earth. The interplay of these cosmic forces created the environment in which civilizations rose and fell, each contributing to the grand harmony of existence. Planets were regarded as living gods by the ancients, each with its own personality and influence. Observatories around the world, from Egypt to China to the Americas, were built to study their movements. Despite lacking modern technology, ancient astronomers made remarkable discoveries, such as the rings of Saturn and the phases of Venus, through careful observation and symbolic interpretation. Esoteric tradition teaches that the soul descends from the stars, passes through the planetary spheres, and incarnates in the material world. Each planet bestows a quality upon the soul, forming the sevenfold nature of human personality. The journey of the soul is both a descent into matter and an ascent back to the stars, symbolizing the cycle of spiritual evolution. The number 7 recurs throughout nature and human experience. There are 7 continents, 7 races, 7 types of life, 7 vital organs, and 7 primary colors and tones. Each of these reflects the influence of the 7 planetary spirits, reinforcing the idea that the cosmos is structured according to universal laws and patterns. Alchemy was not just the transformation of metals but the perfection of the soul's sevenfold nature. Each planet corresponded to a metal and a spiritual quality. Mastering these qualities led to the creation of the Philosopher's Stone, symbolizing spiritual immortality and the unity of diverse energies within the self. Each of the 7 classical planets represents a distinct aspect of the soul. Saturn, reason; Jupiter, understanding; Mars, energy; Sun, vitality; Venus, harmony; Mercury, communication; and Moon, imagination. Together, they form the complete spectrum of human experience, guiding our development and self-mastery. Ancient philosophers identified 5 elements: earth, water, fire, air, and ether. These elements were seen as the building blocks of the physical world, each corresponding to a different state of matter and a spiritual principle. The interplay of the elements created the diversity of forms and experiences in nature. Each element was believed to be inhabited by elemental beings: gnomes earth, undines water, salamanders fire, and sylphs air. These spirits were thought to govern the processes of nature and were central to the folklore and mythology of many cultures. Their existence symbolized the living, conscious aspect of the natural world. Astrologically, the elements shape our personalities and temperaments. Each person has a dominant element which influences their strengths and weaknesses. Balancing the elements within oneself is key to achieving harmony and success in life. The interplay of elements also affects relationships, as compatible and incompatible elements interact in unique ways. Imbalances among the elements can lead to physical and psychological issues. Ancient medicine used foods and remedies to restore elemental harmony, believing that health depended on the proper flow of elemental energies. Modern science is only beginning to rediscover the importance of these subtle forces in maintaining well-being. Interpreting a horoscope requires understanding planetary aspects, the angles and relationships between planets. These aspects create complex patterns, influencing temperament and destiny. The philosophy behind aspects is rooted in geometry and the idea that the arrangement of parts creates new wholes, each with its own unique energy and meaning. Patterns and symbols have inherent power according to ancient philosophy. The arrangement of parts creates new forms, each capable of releasing specific energies. This principle underlies the use of talismans, sacred art, and ritual masks, all designed to channel and embody spiritual forces. In astrology, the horoscope is a symbolic pattern that reveals the energies at work in a person's life. Astrology teaches that planets can be sympathetic or antipathetic to each other, depending on their nature and aspect. Sympathetic relationships enhance positive qualities, while antipathies can create tension or conflict. Understanding these dynamics is essential for interpreting the deeper meanings of a horoscope and for personal growth. The law of similarity states that like attracts like. In astrology, this means that cosmic patterns resonate with similar patterns in individuals and events. When the macrocosmic pattern matches the microcosmic pattern, significant effects occur. This principle explains why certain planetary configurations have powerful impacts on people and the world. Astrology provides a framework for understanding human destiny. By studying the patterns of the heavens, we gain insight into our own nature and the forces shaping our lives. Astrology is not just about prediction, it's a tool for self-knowledge, growth, and alignment with the greater order of the cosmos. The human being is a microcosm, a reflection of the universe in miniature. Our bodies, minds, and spirits mirror the structure and processes of the cosmos. This understanding empowers us to take responsibility for our own growth and to participate consciously in the unfolding of our destiny. Astrology encourages us to know ourselves. The ancient maxim, "Know thyself," was inscribed above the Temple of Delphi and remains a guiding principle. By understanding our astrological makeup, we gain insight into our strengths, weaknesses, and potential, enabling us to live more consciously and purposefully. Astrology's highest purpose is to aid in the growth of the human spirit. By revealing the patterns and energies at work in our lives, it helps us align with our true purpose and fulfill our potential. Astrology is a guide for spiritual development, offering a map for the journey of the soul. Astrology teaches respect for all forms of life. As microcosms, humans have a responsibility to care for the world and its creatures. Ancient philosophers argued that humanity should be a guardian, not a destroyer, of the natural order. This ethical dimension is an integral part of the astrological worldview. For the ancients, astrology was more than a science or art, it was a way of life. It offered a complete formula for living in harmony with the cosmos, guiding actions, decisions, and relationships. By embracing astrology's wisdom, we can cultivate greater awareness, balance, and fulfillment. Despite the rise of modern science, astrology remains relevant as a tool for understanding ourselves and the universe. Its principles continue to inspire seekers, philosophers, and scientists alike. By integrating ancient wisdom with contemporary knowledge, we can unlock new dimensions of meaning and possibility. As we conclude our exploration of the philosophy of astrology, remember that you are a vital part of the cosmic tapestry. The stars, planets, and elements are not distant forces, they are woven into the fabric of your being. By studying astrology, you embark on a journey of self-discovery, growth, and connection with the universe. Thank you for joining this journey through the wisdom of Manly Palmer Hall and the timeless teachings of astrology.